Everyone. All right, so let's talk about my last video about not relying on battery operated lighting sources for your emergency supplies. Come here, Bubby. Come on. I have said in many of my videos, I'm not a supporter on Judy's Patreon site anymore. I support Judy privately through PayPal. That means I don't have access to her posts. Okay? Any posts that she has made on her Patreon since I left, I don't have access to. Now, I do have access to what Frederick posts because I contribute to him and I can see what he's got on his coffee site, okay? And information I put out in my latest video was based off of information he has communicated to me, to others, and that I actually emailed him and confirmed about not being able to use battery sources. Okay, so that's the information I was going by. Now that Judy has advised you all that batteries will work during the blackout, which is honestly quite a relief because a battery is an electrical source. So it would go without saying that it didn't work, but that's good. That's good to know that. I'm still personally not going to rely solely on battery operated things. We have to go at least 3 days. I'm not going to just have something that's going to last me for a certain amount of time that could fail. I'm not going to do it. So I'm still following my game plan. You will follow your game plan. Any information I put out is with the intention to help other source players. I know you're all intelligent people. Sometimes, though, we don't always make the best choices. And by nature, I am a troubleshooter. If I see a blind spot and I think something might not be the best idea, I might say something to somebody to help them. But having that kind of nature and that kind of mentality, I know that people don't always like or appreciate that their blind spots have been pointed out to them. I understand that. And that's fine. That's fine. But prior to Judy confirming that batteries are going to be working, that is the premise you were working under, right? Okay. So that's neither here nor there. I've told you guys ad nauseum, I can't see Judy's posts. I've told you guys ad nauseum, I am a New Yorker. I've told you what kind of personality I have. I've told you this stuff, okay? I've told you that this account has always been to be helpful. That has always been the intention behind my videos. Every single one of them. So if you cannot get behind or appreciate the intention, this begs the question, okay? If you feel slighted that I mentioned something that relates to you, that's a you problem. That's a you problem. If you do not value information that I am putting out on my channel, that is a you problem. But it begs this question. Why are you then following me? Why are you following my coffee site? And why are you following my YouTube channel? Why are you doing that? Especially if you've never contributed to me. Right? Because there are some people who have followed my coffee site that I don't recall ever having received contribution from. And this is where this whole conversation is stemming from at this time. So that really begs the question, why are you following me? And if you don't value or appreciate the content, why are you following me? You've never contributed. You've never returned the energy exchange. Now, I know I said very in the beginning that if you followed any of the information that you should go support the winner of the game, Judy. I said that because anybody who had not yet done so for themselves, I said for them to do that so that they could receive the frequency unlock through Judy. Okay, that's why I said that. That was never so that you would never contribute or return any energy to me. Because I have almost 100 videos on this channel at this point. And some of you have been following for a long time and you've not contributed. And that's fine, whatever. But you don't get to be passive aggressive with me. We're not going to play that game. You don't get to follow everything that I post on coffee and you're not contributing. Why are you being like that? Why are you being stingy? Why are you begrudging me energy that I'm putting out? You're a taker. You're a taker. And you don't appreciate what's being given to you. Okay? This goes for anybody. This goes for anybody. The people who have contributed to me recurringly or one time, it's so appreciated because I understand you understand what I'm saying. And I've never told you, like I've always told you guys, that I am helping from the frequency level that I'm at and from the understanding I have. I was under a certain understanding based on things Frederick had said and based on conversations I had and based on information I confirmed with my source self. So the fact that my source self was backing up what Frederick was saying, and the fact that I emailed Frederick and Frederick confirmed what I had understood, that's what I was going by. But if we're going to play a passive-aggressive game, you don't need to be following me on YouTube and you don't need to be following me on Coffee. Okay? You really don't. You really don't, because you are just taking energy from me. You know how this works. You know how this works. So are you following me because you don't appreciate anything I'm saying and you want to see what I'm saying and you want to judge what I'm saying and whatever, you want to have whatever like little hate follow you have going on? Because I don't know. I don't know at this point, because I know, like, as a New Yorker, a lot of people don't like New Yorkers. You find us rude, whatever the case may be. And it very well may be all true. That doesn't mean I'm unkind, and it doesn't mean that my intention is not coming from the right place. Okay? Doesn't mean my intention is not coming from a helpful place. I'm not going to rely solely on battery-operated lighting. I'm not going to do it. You can choose to do so. If you do it, I recommend buying a ton of batteries. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to make sure I'm a little bit more prepared. Okay? That's for me. To each their own. That's the beauty of freedom of free will. So I'm leaving it at that. If you have not contributed and you have been consuming my content, consider making a contribution to me, because I have been providing energy in my videos and not been receiving that back. Okay, bye.